July flew by in the blink of an eye, and look how we kicked off August, with a win. Yesterday, the Eagles came out strong and took down the Bengals 34-27 in a game full of energy and early season promise. If that was just the start of preseason, then buckle up, Eagles fans, because there's a lot more to come. And if you believe this is just the beginning of another historic run, smash that like button and fly with us. This is still one of the deepest, youngest, and most talented rosters in the entire NFL. 10 of 11 offensive starters are back. On defense, yes, the Eagles lost over 4,000 snaps worth of experience, but they also injected youth, versatility, and untapped potential into that side of the ball. Zach Bond noted in the spring that the defense already feels miles ahead of where it was at this same time last year. The addition of Vic Fangio, arguably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, only adds to the belief that this defense will be more disciplined, more creative, and more dangerous. The offensive side has seen some change too, with Kevin Patullo stepping in to replace Kellen Moore. But there's still continuity in leadership, and with Jalen Hurts commanding the huddle and a loaded supporting cast around him, the Eagles' offense should be just as explosive. Now, let's talk schedule, because it's brutal, and that's expected when you win the division and the Super Bowl. In the first 4 games alone, the Eagles face the Cowboys at home, travel to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, host the Rams, and hit the road again to play the Buccaneers. That's a gauntlet. Winning 3 out of 4 would be incredible. Even splitting that stretch 2-2 would be a success. The key early on is simple: survive. Don't put yourself in a hole. Get through that opening month with your head above water, and you're in position to make another run. Beyond that first month, the pressure doesn't ease up. The Eagles face the Broncos, a playoff-caliber team under Sean Payton. Then it's 2 games against a retooled Giants team in a 3-week span. Add in trips to Minnesota, Green Bay, and Los Angeles to face the Chargers, and it becomes clear this schedule is no joke. But that's the price of being the top dog. Every opponent circles you on the calendar. Every game is a test, and that's why this preseason is more important than usual. It's not just about brushing off the rust. It's about evaluating depth. It's about discovering which young players are ready to step into real roles when the lights are brightest. One name that's making waves already? Jihad Campbell. The rookie linebacker has been nothing short of sensational throughout camp. He's getting first-team reps. He's holding his own in one-on-one drills. He's flashed sideline-to-sideline speed and awareness, shedding blockers, disrupting passes, and even earning praise from Saquon Barkley, who compared him to Micah Parsons. That's not a throwaway comment. Barkley doesn't hand out compliments for free. Campbell's background as a pass rusher at Alabama gives him a unique edge. Fangio has already deployed him in multiple roles, rushing the passer with the second unit, dropping into coverage with the ones, and even sniffing out short yardage plays with physicality and burst. If he continues this trajectory, he could be another draft day steal for Howie Roseman, one of those picks we look back on in a few years and wonder how he fell to number 31 overall. Then there's the safety battle. Reed Blankenship is locked in on one side, but the other spot remains up for grabs. Sidney Brown has been steady throughout camp, and while the Eagles haven't ruled out a potential veteran signing like Justin Simmons, they're giving the young guys a real chance. Andrew Mukuba has shown flashes, but these preseason games will be the true test. When the action is live, fast, and physical, we'll learn a lot about who's ready. And don't underestimate how important these reps are. Coaching staffs and front offices aren't just watching, they're making roster decisions that will shape the season. Another area of concern is the edge. Nolan Smith and Jix Hunt are expected to step up this year, but there are still question marks. Smith's development from year 1 to year 2 has been impressive. He jumped from 1 sack to 6.5 in the regular season, then added 4 more in the playoffs. His traits, twitch, bend, speed, physicality, are all elite, but health remains a concern. He battled injuries at Georgia and has dealt with them early in his NFL career. If he stays healthy, the sky's the limit. He might not be a TJ Watt or Myles Garrett level disruptor, but a 10-sack player with consistency and toughness, that's a win. Jix Hunt, meanwhile, is still learning the position. He began his college career as a safety at Cornell before shifting to edge rusher at Houston Baptist. Now with the Eagles, he's showing flashes of brilliance. He's been active in the backfield all camp and continues to draw attention from veterans and coaches alike. The big question is whether he can sustain that impact over a full season. Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche have also stood out in camp, consistently generating pressure even against a strong offensive line. If those 4, Smith, Hunt, Ojulari, and Uche, can hold down the edge with consistency, the Eagles' pass rush might be deeper than anyone expected. As for Ben Van Sumeren, don't be surprised if you see him at fullback more often this year. He's a converted linebacker who's shown promise as a lead blocker, and with owner Jeffrey Lurie openly pushing to make fullbacks great again, Van Sumeren could carve out a unique role. Expect to see him used sparingly, maybe 10 to 15 snaps a game, but when he's on the field, it could signal some creative looks from this offense. The versatility he brings adds another wrinkle for defenses to prepare for. Let's now shift focus to the players who are fighting to define their place on this 53-man roster and how the Eagles coaching staff is navigating through some tough decisions. One of the most intriguing developments is the linebacker group. It's clear that Zach Bond, Jihad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Smail Mondon are expected to be the core, especially with Nakobe Dean likely starting the season on the PUP list. That gives the Eagles 4 dynamic, young, and athletic linebackers, each with a different skill set. It's also a strong indication of how this team is prioritizing speed and range in the middle of the defense, traits that are essential in Vic Fangio's system. Bond brings experience and versatility. Trotter Jr., the son of an Eagles legend, has the bloodline and football IQ. Campbell, as we've already mentioned, is showing signs of being a future star. And Mondon is quietly stacking good days and making a name for himself with solid play recognition and sideline-to-sideline pursuit. It's a young group, but one that could develop into something special with the right coaching and consistent reps. Let's not ignore special teams either. Ben Van Sumeren, beyond his fullback experiment, is already a core special teams player. That alone gives him value. If he can prove to be effective on offense in limited snaps while continuing to lead on special teams, it makes him a valuable asset in the back end of the roster. And this brings us to a broader theme. The Eagles are betting on their development pipeline. They're giving young players a real shot to win jobs. They're trusting the system and the coaching staff to mold these raw athletes into contributors. You can see it in every position group, from the edge to the secondary, to the linebackers and even special teams. Take Sidney Brown, for example. While not a splashy name right now, the coaching staff likes what they see in his development arc. His training camp has been solid. There are ups and downs, but that's expected. What matters is how he responds in live action, and that's what Thursday night against the Bengals is going to reveal. Andrew Mukuba is also in that mix. Both are competing for that starting spot next to Reed Blankenship. Fangio is letting it play out, and rightfully so. There's no need to rush to sign a veteran like Justin Simmons unless the young guys show they aren't ready. If they step up, great. If not, the front office will pivot. That's a refreshing approach. Rather than plugging every hole with a big-name veteran, the Eagles are staying disciplined. They're testing their depth, leaning into youth, and seeing who rises. And that takes confidence, not only in the roster construction, but in the coaching infrastructure that's been built here in Philadelphia. As for the pass rush, we've already talked about Nolan Smith and Jix Hunt, but let's add more on Ojulari and Uche. These two may not be household names yet, but they've been quietly disruptive in camp. The fact that they're consistently winning reps against starting caliber offensive linemen should not be overlooked. It's one thing to flash against backups. It's another to cause problems in the backfield against this Eagles O-line, which is one of the best in the league. If that continues in preseason action, you could be looking at a defensive rotation that's both deep and dangerous. Now let's talk quarterbacks, because that's always a headline in Philly. Jalen Hurts